Hey, it's Barrett from the Gimpy Camper. Thanks for dropping by again. We're going to do a campground review on Chilhowee Campground up here in Polk County, Tennessee. This is Mccamey Lake. It's the swimming area up here. It's a beautiful area. It's got nice sandy beach. The water's got a good sand base underneath it. I just particularly don't like swimming in areas that's all muddy. The rivers around here in southeast Tennessee where I can actually touch the bottom at least. So from here it's a quarter-of-a-mile hike back to the campground loops A and B, which I highly recommend that area. We'll get into that in just a minute. There's also a few other loops on the other side of the campground, or on the other side of the lake rather, and there is a dump station over there as well. They don't have water hookups here, but they do have pretty sporadic, pretty frequent opportunities to get water. A lot of them are at the beginnings of, a couple of spots that kind of converge together. Like we're staying in A10, I believe, and there is a spigot right at the beginning, right by the road of A10. And A10 and A9 kind of come together at that one same point and then kind of go back off into a V. It's a nice open area there. From here, if you go around the lake, there's a walkway and there's a few trails over there. If you take the one to the left, it's got a good sign on there. Basically, you're going to walk back to Benton Falls. We're going to have a whole video just dedicated on that day hike that we did yesterday. So just stay tuned for that. And we're going to let you know some more about the campground right here. Alright, so as far as campsite recommendations, I really recommend Loop A. There's Loop A through Loop F, I think. We'll look at those in just a minute. Now the drawbacks to A is it's more cleared off. There's not like woods between you and your neighbor and that kind of thing. But it is real nice. We're going to have some pictures of some different campsites from around there. As far as my recommendations for specific sites, I would say A11, then A10, A9, and next would be the B loop. All the campsites in A and B, whether they're tent or RV, they do have electricity, but B25 is right behind the bathhouse on that side, and it is a really large pull-through site that a pretty big motorhome was in when we went by. I got a couple of pictures of that. And on B, if you do like to be a little bit more secluded, there are a little bit of wooded areas between you and your neighbors at most of the spots there. Best tent sites in that area would include A3 through A6. They're not horribly convenient as far as it's not one of those areas where you park right in your camping area. There is like a centralized parking, but it's probably 100 to 200 feet away, and it's like a common area where there's it just starts off on one side and there's like 4 spots back there. But it's very pretty, a lot of trees, a lot of cover, a lot of places to hang your hammock. Then as far as the other loops go, the pluses is if you get the sites without the electricity, they're a lot cheaper. But their electric sites, their premium sites here are only $20 a night. And I'll admit, I was kind of being cheap, and I was thinking, well, is it going to cost more than the difference to run the generator and this and that and other? Just get the electric. It's $20. That's very economical for a campsite. The other loops, though, you have to be careful if you do want to stay back there. They are a lot better as far as privacy if you like to be in a more wooded area. But you have to be really careful because of the way that they're made. So like Loop C, a lot of those areas say that they're for RVs on the map, but we drove through there and it's my understanding that it's a one-way road. It's a single lane at least. But a lot of those campsites that are on the left of Loop C, or the inner part of Loop C, were backwards as far as how you would have to back a trailer in. So they were going the opposite way. Maybe, I guess you can go down the wrong way, but it's just something to keep in mind there. The same thing for Loop D along the back side of that loop, which is the innermost part, appears to be the one where there's the most problems, but there's some that are like 90-degree angles from the road almost, and it's just looks hard to deal with. Now Loop E, if I'm remembering correctly, yeah, Loop E is electric and it's a lot more secluded, and I don't think there were as many issues with backing in from what I can remember when we drove through there. So if you do like seclusion and you want an electric site, I would probably recommend Loop E, which is also down near where their single dump station is here. We drove by it. It looks, dump stations can look nice. It looks nice and clean at least. Some of them, you know, campgrounds are hard to get to. This one was real easy to get to, but it is kind of back out in the middle of nowhere, so you have to know where it is. They do have some signs, but they're not the best. We just found it driving around to look at the different campsites. But I think that's all that I have for you guys, so just enjoy the pictures here, and we'll see you next time on The Gimpy Camper. Yeah, so these are tent spots A3 through A6. They just have a common parking area here. Nice little tent spots. They do have electricity on these. The sign here says they're $15 a piece. It's not bad, especially for having electric hookups for a tent site. The way that it was explained to me is 10 and 11, A10 and 11 are the best sites. This is A9, seems pretty roomy. It's got the one little curve there. 10's where we are. And as we go around, there's a water spigot here. You gotta be careful with it, because when you push it down and turn the water on, water shoots straight out of the top of it. Trash cans right here, added to the site. And up there at 11 is at the top of the hill. It's a nice open space too. It looks like I see a water hydrant up there on the drive for that too. They're just not right beside the camper. So this is A2. This is where I originally had planned to stay for the week. It's right beside the road. That's not the hugest thing for me. But then it was also explained that because of these trees and stuff, you can't open your awning. And then it's not even level. There's, you know, some steps here and stuff to the picnic area. So this is one that I would stay away from, even though on the internet it appears that it's great because it's really close to the swimming area.